At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Mike Krueger. It is Thursday, April 11th. How you doing this morning? You know, it was another beautiful day out there yesterday. Did you get out there and enjoy it? You know, I think many of us are going to experience similar weather that we saw yesterday. In fact, probably a little less cloud cover in some areas, and as a result, maybe actually a degree or two warmer than it was yesterday in some areas. But for the most part, a bit of a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday for today. But don't get too used to it, because we do have some big changes in store for us. And, you know, a few days ago, I was talking about, you know, not getting terribly cold, but now it's looking like another 20-plus degree drop in a matter of just a few days. We're going to go from the low to mid-80s for the valley that we've seen yesterday and today and the last few days, upper 50s, low 60s by the weekend, and probably even as much as a 10-degree drop going into tomorrow. So, yeah, get out and enjoy it while you can, because it's not going to be here forever. Before we get to the forecast, what day is it today? Well, of course, it's National Something Day, right? Always. National Living Donor Day. All right, interesting. Submarine Day. You know, you got to give props, to the submarines. National Alcohol Screening Day. Looks apparently they're just trying to get more awareness the effects of alcohol and alcoholism. National Cheese Fondue Day. You know, I have some great memories of fondue. My mom had we had a nice, cool fondue set. We didn't actually necessarily do a lot of cheese fondue. We did the boiling oil, and we would have all these things like you know, the meats, red meat, chicken, all that stuff, and then of course we would take vegetables, dip them in a batter, and then put them in that bubbling oil. And it was so much fun. We loved it as kids. My sister and I have fond memories. In fact, my mother, God bless her soul, I still have that fondue set from the 70s. It's classic. You know, it looks like it's a fondue set from the 70s. So kind of fun. National Pet Day. It's always Pet Day, right? It seems like there's always a pet day. I love this one too. National 8-Track Tape Day. Now, many of you who are watching probably might know exactly what an 8-track is. Others, maybe not. I didn't really, that's kind of just beyond my my generation. We weren't quite into the 8-tracks, it was more in the cassettes. The next generation was cassettes, and then of course from there CDs. But I do remember 8-tracks. We had an 8-track in our car, as a matter of fact. So yeah, some of it kind of lingered on into our generation. Take a look at those. Actually, before we get to the temperatures, I want to share this image from Jackie Dixon out in Eureka. This is an image from the North Jetty in Eureka. You see those waves splashing over that jetty, and just, you know, always a gorgeous sight to see that out along the coast here. If you want to share your images, you can do that from the free Weather NorCal app. Just go to your app store and search for Weather NorCal. Download the app for free, and before you know it, you're sharing pictures just like that of Jackie. Let's take a look at those temperatures out there right now. And yeah, I was expecting this. And you can see temperatures didn't quite get into the 40s for most of us in the valley. Some of you may have. It just depends on where you are. There are some areas that tend to get sheltered by those winds sometimes. And as a result, sometimes you see those cooler temperatures. But low 50s for most of us in the valley this morning. And most of us in the mountains are above freezing. But some of those higher mountain communities like Chester, Alturas, you are below freezing. 28 degrees for Alturas, again 31 for Chester. Bernie, just barely outside of that freezing point at about 33. 36 out in Weaverville, 35 for Hayfork. And there you can see Willow Creek about 39. Mount Shasta City, 36, as well as Wairika, and upper 40s out along the coast. Let's take a look at some of those cameras out there. This is Main Street, Chico. No cars to be seen. It is quiet. It's quiet there in Chico. I can see off in the distance there, finally seeing some cars. This is Sundial Bridge at Highway 44. Unfortunately, not a moving image. It'd be nice, but I get it. The reason Caltrans can't do all the moving images is because it's just bandwidth. Crescent City Harbor District, look at that. Looks like someone getting ready to go out and do some fishing. Maybe some crab, whatever it is that they fish, but looks like a good day for it, although there is a small threat advisory through this afternoon, so hopefully they are aware of that and they are taking the necessary precautions heading out there. Lake Oroville, North Forebay, there of course you can see the beautiful sunrise again. Looks like one little stray cloud there in the upper right corner of your screen there, but otherwise mainly clear skies, and look at that. Calm winds. I mean, the lake looks like glass right now. Looks like someone out there fishing, as a matter of fact, too. Here are the high temperatures we saw yesterday afternoon. Now, one of the warmer spots was in Redding with a high of 85 degrees, 77 degrees for Chico, 82 degrees out in Oroville, and 80 in Corning. And for the mountains, I mean, look at those temperatures, mainly in the 70s. One of the cool spots was actually Alturas with a high of 69, but 75 Susanville, 79 Bernie, 74 for Mount Shasta City. And of course, the cool spot, as usual, along the coast in the mid-50s. Now, we do expect more of the same here for today. The clouds coming in from the west, those are working their way in our direction. And you can also see some of that colder air up to our north. That will also be moving in. But for today, temperatures, again, much like yesterday, maybe a degree or two warmer in some spots, maybe a degree or two cooler in others. Just depends on where you are. But mainly, again, in the 70s for the higher elevations. And for the coast, once again, looking at those temperatures in the mid-50s. Now, taking a look at that 10-day trend, there's that big drop in those temperatures. That's quite a roller coaster ride, folks. You're going to notice a big drop. About a 10-degree drop for some from today to tomorrow, and then another 10-degree drop on top of that going into the weekend before we kind of level out around normal or just above normal for this time of the year, going through most of next week and then getting possibly even warmer as we get into that next weekend. Temperatures today, kind of across the board, as you can see here, are in the low 80s for those daytime highs. I do have, of course, temperatures in the 70s for those mountains, and along the coast, temperatures in the 50s. Let's take a look at Futurecast, at least for today, and you can see some of the clouds, maybe some low clouds out there this morning along the coast, but eventually by the afternoon, some of those clouds should dissipate. Still looking at mainly sunny skies by the noon hour. Now, I'm expecting to see some clouds developing this afternoon in the higher elevations. Some of those could develop in some of the northern end of the valley, say around Redding. And I was talking about this yesterday. Northeast Shasta County, central eastern Siskiyou County, Modoc County, Lassen County, and maybe even northeastern Tehama County could be looking at a slight chance for a stray sprinkle, maybe a light shower later on this evening and into tonight. Is it going to be much for us to write home about? Absolutely not. The main event will be here by tomorrow and Saturday. And you can see that in the 7-day outlook. I think the best chance for that widespread rain will be Friday night into Saturday. Slight chance for showers on Sunday. Don't count on much. The chances diminish by the second half of Sunday before we dry things out and warm back up early next week. Your 7-day outlook for the coast and inland. I think we've got better chances for that measurable rainfall for both Friday, but Saturday, actually, the chances may be a bit slimmer, not to mention your Sunday as well. And looking at your 7-day outlook for Siskiyou, Modoc, and the eastern mountains, look at the snow levels. They're high. I mean, that's normal for this time of the year, right? Basically between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. There could be a point in time, especially for the eastern mountains, where we could see those snow levels maybe drop down to about 4,500 feet. So just a gradual decrease in those snow levels here as we go into Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But keep in mind, as we go into Sunday, the chances for rain and snow begin to diminish a little bit. I want to talk to you about the season rainfall. We haven't looked at that in a while, and especially with the rain coming in over the next couple of days. What does that mean? Do we need the rain? Well, it's always nice to get the rain for the most part, usually, right? So we're about 100%, and that's where we were last time I reported, about a week or so ago. And last year's season, we were actually doing better at 126%. Don't mind the dishes going on in the background. I'm not going to complain. My wife is unloading the dishwasher, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate her. So I'm not going to complain about it, but don't mind that. All right, in the meantime, there you can see that we're actually around normal for Red Bluff. Last season, about 128% at 25.88. Eureka last season, look at this, we were at 111, but this season, 120%. Out in Crescent City, 134%. So yeah, I mean, doing quite well, especially for the coast. Even Mount Shasta City, not as good as last season, but still over 100% there. Now, where we are lacking in the season and where we were last season too, so this is pretty normal for us. Montague at about 78%, but Alturas, which early on, I'd say about a month ago, was actually below normal for the season, kind of got back up above normal. So when, people kind of say, hey, they're kind of complaining about the rainfall. They're like, I don't want the rain, all that good stuff. It's okay. It's okay to not want the rain because as you saw there, we are mostly at or above average for the season when it comes to rainfall. Now, there are some select areas, like one of our viewers out in West Red Bluff saying, actually you could use a little bit more for the season. So it just depends again on where you are. Lisa is saying, almost Friday, we've got this. Have a good one, everyone. Yes. Good morning from Palo Cedro. It does look like we are safe from frost. That's good. Yes, we're not looking at temperatures anywhere near freezing in the valley. Want to put my tomatoes in the ground. I'd hold off at least until next week. If you're really, really itching, I still don't recommend even next week, but if you're really itching, at least hold off until then because we do have some colder temperatures coming in over the weekend, and that could, of course, most likely stay above freezing in the valley, but playing it safe. Good morning from Shingletown, Lake McCumber. Hello, Callie. Hello, Curtis. Yes. So Curtis, yesterday, I believe you were saying a day or two ago that you were actually a little bit below normal for the season, if I'm not mistaken. But another beautiful day in west of Red Bluff, about 7 miles west of Red Bluff. Good morning from Castle. Good morning to you, Callie. Catherine, Callie. Saying she doesn't mind either. Good morning from Weaverville. It's a beautiful couple of days. Good morning, Shelley. Haven't seen you in a while. Glad you could join us this morning. Elaine, you are good morning to you as well. Which is good. A couple more days of rain, which is good. And back to sun, which is great. Yes, it is back to sun for next week. Good morning and good to see you. Good to see you as well, Ann. Well, watching from YouTube. All right, excellent. All right, let us get into our next segment. Of course, Thursday is our NorCal Ag Report. It's sponsored by Lassen County Nursery. So again, thanks to Lassen County Nursery for their sponsorship of all of this because the Ag Report would not be made possible without them. Now, as I've mentioned before, we're going to see some new faces in some of these reports. My wife, as you may or may not know, is a chef, and she has an appreciation for where our food comes from. So agriculture is something she's always been interested in, kind of that farm to fork type of situation. She teaches culinary at the school, and she does a great job with that, and she really loves that, and she loves the whole agriculture aspect of it as well. So she has expressed an interest in reporting in the NorCal Ag. So she's at least going to make an appearance in this week's NorCal Ag, but where we're going and where we are in this NorCal Ag is thanks to her, because she has a friend out at this particular ranch, and we're going to talk more about that ranch and what it is they grow. And then this will kind of lead into next week, where we are going to be looking at other programs that this ranch has, and my wife is going to be the one giving that report. But for today, she's just going to be making the appearance. So without further delay, let's go ahead and take a look at your ag report. Hello everyone, Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal, and this is NorCal Ag, sponsored by Lassen Canyon Nursery. Of course, with us are three beautiful ladies, but of course the most gorgeous one is my wife over here, and that's Sadie. And we've got Audrey and Heather. Now, tell us about, first of all, where are we? What is it that we're doing here?
Well, we're in Red Bluff, California on our farm. We grow a variety of vegetables, and we also raise pasture-raised meats, pork and beef, here at Red Gate Ranch.
So you do, of course, like you say, you have the beef. What are some of the main things that you grow here?
Well, this time of year, we're getting into the summer crop season, so you're going to see a lot of basil, cucumber, zucchini, eggplant, peppers, tomatoes. All of these things are really filling the nursery and are making their way out to the fields right now. But we also grow a variety of greens. We grow head lettuce, beets, carrots, turnips, radishes. What am I missing?
Pretty much everything under the sun.
Everything we can make work.
Although it's not sunny today. It's not sunny today.
No, it's not.
So tell me the history of Red Gate Farms. How did this start? Is it family?
It kind of started with us, actually. We were passionate about finding local food, so we were avid farmers market shoppers first. And then we discovered the powerful healing of food, and we wanted to farm. So it did start out with my family coming up here and looking at property and getting this property, and we kind of went from there.
And I've been friends with Heather and her family for about
1,000 years.
Yeah, 25 years or so. And so 1,000 years. 25 years or so, and we became passionate about sourcing our food locally together. We were living in the Bay Area. I was managing a naturopathic medical office and learning the benefits of healthy food, and really saw the impact, what that would do for people when they were adhered to their treatment plan, not just with exercise and lifestyle recommendations, but also with changing the way they ate. I saw some amazing things. So over time, I became much more conscious about sourcing my food locally, and so did my friends Heather and Craig, and it snowballed into just kind of this opportunity.
Well, and speaking of opportunities, you just got a great new opportunity that you kind of applied for it, but certification, right? You got your certified organic, right?
That's right. We just got the email this morning. We're officially certified organic.
Oh, congratulations. And it seems like what you're doing here is fantastic. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to spend with us to tell us more about Red Gate Farms and what it is you do here. And next week, we're going to talk about this great program that you guys have. What's that program called again?
It's called the CSA, Community Supported Agriculture.
Now we've got you hooked. Now you want to know. You want to tune in next week to find out more about that. Thank you all again so much, and we'll see you next week for NorCal Ag. All right, so I want to thank them for their time, and of course, so we're going to be joining them again next week. We're going to learn more about that CSA program that she was talking about. It's really great, and it's neat to see Sarah had kind of chimed in during that report, said Redgate has the best, in all caps, meat and veggies. I always see them at the Reading Farmers Market, and they're all about just eating for your health and putting good things in your body. And that's what helps to keep us healthy and keep us, feeling and looking good. That's always been kind of the mantra in the Krueger household. We're trying to do everything we can to bring in good nutrients into our bodies. So having good local connections to our agriculture, our farms, our ranches. I mean, even if you do eat red meat or meat in general, making sure that it's grass-fed. And, you know, we also, this is going to be kind of coming down the pike as well, visited a local dairy. And I tell you what, I mean, again, very much organic, very much into making sure that the cows are well fed and fed properly. And the pasteurization process is not even a part of their thing, because pasteurization, this side little note here, when you pasteurize milk, you're taking out a lot of important nutrients within that milk, right? And the reason why, and we all grew up this way, is because the big farms with the cows, you get a lot of bacteria as a result. And so they got to pasteurize the milk. But if you're in a good environment where there isn't any bacteria, the pasteurization process isn't needed. So it's just, again, that's just kind of one thing. But Redgate, yeah, they're great over there at Redgate Ranch. I called it Farms. It's actually Redgate Ranch. So I want to make sure that we are clear on that. All right, folks, that is going to wrap it up here for your quick forecast here. Let's get into the deeper dive forecast. But before we do, of course, we need to mention our sponsor, which is Wind River Resort and Casino. So at Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So I thank Wind River for their support. Taking a look at our current temperatures out there right now, it is a mild morning, really. You know, in fact, it's a little bit warmer this morning than it was yesterday, but keep in mind too, yesterday for the most part was the peak of this warming trend. So as a result, we're also seeing the peak of temperatures not getting too cold in the overnight. However, this morning we are down to 28 degrees for Alturas, 37 though in Susanville, 43 in Shingletown, 33 for Bernie. How about the coast? Temperatures there are in the upper 40s right now. So one more warm and dry day today. Now, as I mentioned, there may be a slight chance for a sprinkle or two for some of us later on this evening, but for the most part, it's dry. Cooler going into the weekend, more wet weather by Friday through Sunday, with the potential for thunderstorms mixed in there as well, and then dry with near normal highs next week. All right, let's take a look at the roller coaster ride with those temperatures. There's the warmer air, temperatures low to mid 80s. That warmer air is moving out, and this bomb is just coming right on down. So this is what's going to drop our temperatures down by as much as 10 degrees tomorrow. So one thing to keep in mind, though, is the core of the colder air is still off to our west. That colder air will eventually then move over us by the time we get into Saturday, Sunday. That's when temperatures drop down into the possibly even upper 50s to low 60s. So much, much cooler than it has been. And you're going to notice it. It's going to be chilly outside. You might even need a light coat, because through a good portion of the day throughout the weekend, temperatures are going to be in the 50s. So you're definitely going to need to, be prepared for the fact that it will be cooler out there. That cooler air then moves on out. But look at this. This warm air is trying to move in, but it can't, because we got colder air from Canada dropping down. Now, this one is more of an inside slider, so it's not going to come directly over us, but it will prevent our temperatures from getting too terribly warm. But that will also most likely keep our temperatures right around or just above normal for this time of the year. So it's actually kind of a good thing, because it's going to keep temperatures fairly mild. As far as rain is concerned with this, most likely not. It's not entirely out of the question, especially early next week, for maybe a stray disturbance to kind of maybe clip extreme northeastern California around Modoc County, maybe eastern Siskiyou County, to maybe see a stray shower early next week. But again, I wouldn't count on it. So that's kind of what's going on with the temperatures. They're going up. They are up, they're going down, they're back up again. Now, again, with that cooler air that's moving in, you see how we have the warmer air to our south and west, cooler air to our north and east. We're kind of in between the two, and that's going to keep our temperatures near normal for a good portion of next week. That's the big area of low pressure, colder air. And once again, one of the things, the signatures that we look for to see how cold it is are the speckled clouds, right? So you got that spin around that area of low pressure, and it's just drawing in that colder air, wrapping it around that area of low pressure. So that's the cold front right here. The clouds will be on the increase going into tonight and into tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at Futurecast. So this is noon today, and we're looking at still a few clouds left over for the coast, but mainly sunny skies for the first half of the day for most of Northern California. Now, by the afternoon, you see what's happening? See the clouds beginning to pop up? This is in advance because we do have a little bit of that southwesterly flow. So there's a little tiny bit of instability in there. And what that does is it allows us to see those clouds begin to develop, especially in the higher elevations. So I think by the afternoon, we'll start to see some of those puffy, towering cumulus clouds. Some of those may even make their way into parts of the valley, especially the north end. So is it out of the question to see a stray sprinkle or a light shower later on this evening tonight for maybe northeastern Shasta County, maybe northeastern Tehama County, east of that and north as well? Not out of the question here for tonight, but don't count on it. But the main event occurs and will arrive by tomorrow morning. This is that cold front I was talking about. This cold front is actually taking its own sweet time. So you can see some of the showers early tomorrow morning. Now this could also be some sprinkles or light showers. And really what I'm seeing here with this trend and this pattern is that we're kind of seeing these bands that are getting caught up in that flow that are developing. So you can see a band here, and this is the main one. And you can see another one to the east of that and even east of that. So you see a band of rain, a dry slot, a band of rain, a dry slot, and so on, right? Now the thing is, these bands can either shift a little bit more to the west or east. So it's just one of those situations where we go through the day on Friday and everyone has the chance for showers through the day on Friday. It's just some better chances than others. I think most of the rain tomorrow, the coast, western Siskiyou County, and east of the valley. That's where most of the rain is going to be. There is a chance that the valley could even make it, many of us in the valley could make it through the day without even seeing a drop of rain on Friday. So we'll have to watch that very closely if you do have outdoor plans on Friday. But for now, I would not anticipate a lot of rain in the valley on Friday. But that will change by Friday night. Here's Friday night at 11 o'clock. Now we're seeing that flow coming in from the south, southeast, and now we're seeing that rain become a little bit more widespread. Now, this is not heavy rainfall. We're talking some light showers here to begin things off for the valley. Now, you can see things are starting to kind of taper off, though, for the coast and even off to the east as well. So as we go into your Saturday morning, you see how we still have that steady flow of moisture. So this could equate to overnight into Saturday morning, kind of that steady flow of drizzle and light showers for the valley as we go into the overnight Friday into early Saturday morning. But look at the coast. We're not seeing a lot of activity out there, and even off to the north and to the east here as well. So it's kind of confined in this centralized area here. Now, you can see it kind of breaks up a little bit here, but now we're still seeing some of those showers, and I think that'll be the case throughout the day on Saturday around noon, and even going into Saturday afternoon as well. You see how everyone has some of that activity. Snow levels are going to start off tomorrow 6,000 feet or higher. They may drop a little bit between 5,000 and 6,000 feet as we go into Saturday afternoon. So that's the area of low pressure. The flow around that low is what's going to be really the driving force of that moisture in the showers that move in. Now behind that, as it moves down to the south, Sunday morning, best chances for showers across the board. But then by Sunday afternoon, as that moves on out, we're looking at drier conditions. Now, as I mentioned, we've got that next storm system coming in from the north. But I think the main headline with this area of low pressure are going to be the winds. I think the winds will pick up. Typically with these inside sliders, as we call them, we tend to see those stronger north-northwest winds. And I think that'll be the case for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Is it going to be a major wind event? No, but you will kind of notice those nuisance winds off and on for Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday of next week. Now, as far as rain and snow is concerned, I mentioned this earlier. It's not out of the question on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday for maybe a weak disturbance to get caught up within that flow to maybe bring a little bit of activity in northeastern California, in particular Modoc County and maybe eastern Siskiyou County as well. But then as we progress through next week, another area of low pressure stays kind of in place, keeping the cooler air in place over the Pacific Northwest and preventing the warmer air to our south and west from moving in. Again, we're in between that, and that's the reason why we're going to keep our temperatures fairly normal for this time of the year through a good portion of next week, and not to mention drier too. You can see below normal rainfall is a very good possibility here as we go into the extended outlook here. Here are your wave heights for today. Not that much of an issue. They're fairly high in some spots, and that's why there's a small correct advisory through this afternoon. But those winds and waves should die down by Friday before they start to maybe pick back up again on Saturday. There's a marine forecast, 5 to 15 knots. There's that small craft advisory I was talking about. That is through this afternoon. So here's what it looks like today. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s for your daytime highs today. 79 for Douglas City, 73 degrees for Coffee Creek. Another gorgeous day. But then you notice, by the time we get into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got that chance for showers in the forecast. And the best 2 days will be tomorrow and Saturday, by the way. Temperatures upper 60s, low 70s for most of us in southern Trinity County. Southern Humboldt County, I accidentally pushed the button here. 67 degrees for Red Crest, 75 for Garberville, 62 degrees for Honeydew. And again, there's that shower activity here. I think the heaviest for the North Coast will be tomorrow. It won't be as heavy on Saturday or Sunday for that matter. In fact, Sunday could be the day that you don't even see any rainfall for the North Coast, but I still got that chance in there for you nonetheless. 57 degrees for Trinidad, 75 for Hoopa today, and 78 degrees out in Willow Creek. We take you up north with 61 for Smith River, 56 for Crescent City, and 55 for high in Oric. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Those temperatures are going to be mainly in the 70s here for the Highway 96 corridor, and then of course in the low 70s here for I-5 Central Siskiyou County. We take you out to Scott Valley. We've got temperatures upper 60s to low 70s, about 69 degrees for Fort Jones, 72 for Callahan and Etna, and 71 degrees in Greenview. We take you off into eastern Siskiyou County. Again, some of the higher elevations off to the north and east, only in the mid to upper 60s, but warmer in the low to mid 70s here for central Siskiyou County. Here's your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. There you can see Alturas about 70, 67 for Cedarville, and 68 degrees out in Fort Bidwell. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the low 70s for those highs. 73 for Montgomery Creek, 71 in Shingletown, and 74 degrees in Paynes Creek. Your Lake Almanor, 7-day forecast for Chester and Lassen Park there, but should be around upper 60s, around 70 for Lake Almanor. And then if we take you out to the park, of course, 50s and some low 60s in there as well. Here's your Eastern Mountains forecast to the south. Paradise, you'll see a high of about 74 degrees today. A little bit cooler in Mineral at the higher elevation at 66. 65 degrees for Janesville and Susanville, a high of about 75 degrees. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast, brought to you by NorCal Tractor. And there you can see about 82 degrees for Red Bluff, 81 for Los Molinos, 80 out in Oroville, and 81 degrees in Gridley. We take you up north with about 80 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake, 77 Whiskeytown and Lakehead, and 82 degrees for a high today in Redding. All right, so there's your 7-day outlook for Redding. Now, we've got the showers in there. As I mentioned, there's a chance some of us may make it through the day without even seeing a drop of rain in the valley on Friday. But I'm keeping that chance in there nonetheless. Now, I think we'll be looking at more widespread rainfall Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, scattered showers. And, one of the things I forgot to mention is the fact that there could be some thunderstorms Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and possibly even into Sunday as well. But as I mentioned, as we go through the day on Sunday, the chances for showers will diminish for the second half of the weekend before, of course, we dry things out and warm back up to slightly above normal by the time we do get into the beginning and middle of next week. So there you have it, folks. That is a look at your deeper dive forecast. Good morning from Rose. Wow, I didn't know. I eat organic. I can't wait to see them at Farmers Market. Do they sell anywhere else? All right, this is great, Anne. I believe I'll have to ask my wife if she knows anything, and we'll kind of talk about that maybe even for next week. But I do know that they do the farmers market, and another thing that they're doing over there at Redgate is they've got a nursery. So you'll be able to buy plants from them that you can grow in your garden that are coming from them. So yeah, that's great. We'll have to see if we can get an answer for you, Anne. But I do know, yeah, you know what? To answer your question, yes, they also sell it because they are in Red Bluff. I know that they go to the farmers market in Red Bluff as well. So be sure to look that up for the farmers market in Red Bluff. Oh, Curtis, you're saying Red Gate Ranch is only a few miles from your place. They do have very good products. Grass-fed beef. Yes, I went out there and I could only see the cows off in the distance here. They also have pigs as well. Boy, those pigs, they're very interesting animals to observe, especially when they see you. So cool, yeah. Oh, of course, I read all the comments, and of course we read all the comments here and try to, that's what makes Weather NorCal so unique, is that you can watch your weather forecast in the morning and you can interact with me in any way, shape, or form. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you just want to say good morning, that's great. But if you have a question, maybe you have plans, and maybe you're worried about the weather impacting those plans, you can ask me that question directly, and before you know it, we are, of course, able to answer those questions for you. This Saturday is the Farmers Market, Chili Cook-Off, and Car Show in Red Bluff from 9 to 3. So there you go. Saturday, thank you, Pamela, for that information. Saturday at Farmers Market, they're going to have the Chili Cook-Off. That is, I've done that before. It's kind of fun. And they're, of course, going to have a car show. And as you know, cool April nights, it's starting to kind of heat up around here, especially in the Redding area, because this is Cool April Nights month. So a lot of big things going on there. So it's from 9 to 3 in front of the old courthouse in Red Bluff. And of course, you know, they got the farmers market in Redding as well, that they are there every week on Saturdays. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Good morning from Terry, and Butch is also saying good morning as well. Well, this is great. I love to see all that interest in the Ag Report and the people that we had interviewed, and I'd love to see that. You can also follow, thank you, Krista, you can also follow Red Gate Ranch on Instagram. So they have an Instagram page that you can follow them and see what they're up to. So yeah, check it out. So many great events coming up, would be great to announce them. I agree, Lynn. One of the things you have to remember, and this, as Weather NorCal grows, here's the first step. Doing what I'm doing, right? And then slowly expanding and expanding on what it is I'm doing. So you may recall, for those of you who have followed me from the very beginning, is that I was just basically doing the weather, and I started right off the bat continuing with the Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, right? Because Sharon Klein and I have been doing that segment for years, and we wanted to keep that relationship going. Then you may have noticed, after I was working 7 days a week, I was doing all of that stuff, right? This was at the very beginning. Just didn't quite have the sponsorship, all that good stuff. Then I started getting more sponsors. As a result, I was able to bring on someone to give me relief on the weekends. And that's why you can see Brian Wilson on the weekends. He does Saturday and Sunday for me. That gives me time off on the weekends and time with my family that I really greatly appreciate. And that's why we need to bring on more sponsors. Now, another thing that I started eventually, it was earlier this year, I think it was late last year, early this year, I started what you're watching now, Coffee with Krueger, right? This is something I had plans with at the very beginning, but I really had to get my bearings straight and make sure that I could do the show effectively before getting it going. And so Coffee with Krueger started. Now, I want you to understand that what you're watching now with Coffee with Krueger, I do have bigger plans for it. But again, it's all about getting more sponsorship dollars in so we can expand what type of information you're getting from me here on Coffee with Krueger, because I would like to expand it beyond just weather. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't plan on being another news program, because I'm not going to be a source of news for you. That's the bottom line. I don't want to become a news station. I want to continue to really be focused on, number one, the weather, and really kind of within that same realm here, the community. I want to get more community involvement in a community base. So a lot of the things that you're seeing here, such as the Ag Report, Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, Pet of the Week, These things require me to go out and shoot them, and it takes time. And so, for example, to talk more about the community events, well, that's great, and I 100% agree with you on announcing more of these events, but it takes time to gather that data. And, when I've got all these other duties, and that's why you're going to see more of my wife doing some of these ag reports. I'm still going to make appearances on these ag reports, but my wife will be doing some of them. We're kind of getting her trained, getting her, more and more comfortable on the camera. You may have seen Jerry O'Lennon do a couple of ag reports. He's actually working on a few as we speak right now. So you're going to see him in the future do some of those for me as well. And that's a huge help that I can have people doing that and contributing to Weather NorCal while we're still bringing in those sponsorship dollars as well. So yes, going back to your original comment, which got me kind of going on about, getting things growing, Lynn saying so many great events coming up, would be great to announce them. Again, I agree. It's a matter of gathering that data and then presenting it to you. And I don't want to just announce it. I want to put up a nice graphic and, put a nice little, element to it. So that is planned in the future, to have a community calendar, to do all of that stuff. But again, it requires more than just me, right? Because right now it's basically just me and of course Brian doing the weekends, but I don't have him doing anything else for me other than weekends. So he doesn't really have time because he's not just employed at Weather NorCal. He's got other jobs as well. So he can't do anything outside of weather on the weekends for me. So I've got to get more sponsors, right? More sponsorship dollars, so then I can invest more into Weather NorCal and get more and more, maybe bring on people. And this is kind of a fun thought, right? For Coffee with Krueger, I, number one, want to have more than just this green screen. But the reason I can only do that is because I've got a tiny little space here. I want to expand and get a bigger studio that I can then have a better set. I can have a better background, all that, right? A weather center, all that stuff. And then maybe bring on another talent to be on the show with me in the morning. Because you may remember some of the stuff I did in the mornings when I was in TV. I had a lot of fun with the anchor. I'm having fun with you all. But it's nice to have someone with me that I can, have a little chit chat with. We can discuss things, and they can also bring some stuff to the table. Not news, but soft news, community events, what's going on in the communities around here. So that's, again, these are all things that we want to plan for the future, but it requires more growth, more finances. And I do think that can come with time, as long as we keep Weather NorCal growing and you help spread the word. All right, that's the next thing I need you to do for me, is I need you to tell all your friends, tell all your family about Weather NorCal so they can know what's going on here. Valerie saying good morning from Hoopa, Castle, 30 degrees there, beautiful sunshine, warm coffee, and livestock all fed. Oh, livestock, that's fun. Will you be reporting on the fires this year? Of course. You had the best coverage. I've been following and watching you for years. I thank you and appreciate that end, but absolutely, fires is going to be a big thing that I do. And but one of the things that I do promote and really want you all to understand is that, again, being a one-man band, it's hard for me to really keep up to date with all the fires. That is where Watch Duty app comes into play. And of course, we'll talk more about that as we get closer to the fire season, but I encourage everyone who wants to stay on top of the fires during the fire season that you just get the Watch Duty app. It's free, and it is, bar none, the best resource for the fire information that you will find anywhere. There is no news organization that can cover it to the ability that they do with Watch Duty. And that's why I'm promoting it, because I can't possibly give you the coverage that you deserve and need with a lot of that. But that being said, I'll talk to you about fire weather. I'll talk to you about fire danger. I plan on possibly doing a daily report that you can access and watch every morning to see where we are with the fire danger and the fires, current fires, see where we are with current fires, see where we are with current fire danger and forecast fire danger. That's something that you can watch daily and know where we are in that fire situation. Again, that's going to be during the peak of the fire season. So yes, to answer the long answer to your question, I will be reporting on the fires. Jackie's saying, and Jackie, by the way, thanks for that great picture that you sent of the North Jetty in Eureka. Appreciate that. But yes, I agree. Family time is very important, and that's why I'm glad to have Brian on the weekends. Pamela saying she appreciates everything that I do, and I thank you, and I appreciate you recognizing that. Don't change the focus of weather and community events. I agree, Lynn. And I tell you what, I would like to see more than just the Ag Report and Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. I would like to see more community stories. I want you to see what's going on in the community. I want you to see the positive, good things that are happening. You know, you can go anywhere and find out the latest news, find out the latest car crashes. You know, there's that big story in Reading where there was someone that was shot. There was a police standoff on Cypress Avenue, right? Those are things you probably want to know about. You're not going to get that from me. You can get that anywhere you want, from any local news organization, whatnot, right? But what I want to do, I don't want to talk about that stuff. It's icky. I don't like to have that in my life. I want to bring in positivity, good things, right? That's what we're going to be all about here at Weather NorCal. And I think you're going to see over the next year some shifts in some of the attention in the things that we do, because we're just beginning here, folks. What I'm doing here has the potential to be so much for you all, and that's what we want to do. But again, it's all about making sure that we can get those more sponsors in here, and making sure that we've got more people who understand that they can have access to this, because we're starting with the weather. Maybe folks can send their event flyers. Yeah, absolutely. You can send those event flyers. I would say the best place either to, you know what, probably to going through the website. You can probably do it through email, or instant message me on Facebook. That's another good place. It takes a village for sure. Be great to watch for growth. I agree, Lisa. Absolutely. I got to get more help before I can start really expanding what I'm doing. I've even got people asking me to expand the coverage more to the north into southern Oregon, and more to the south of where I cover for Weather NorCal. But again, generating a forecast for all those areas, that's going to add more time that I don't have. So as I get more help, those are things that we can certainly look into. I run a fire page on Facebook and then have over 10,000 people on my page. Great. Maybe you could share my forecasts, and maybe even share those fire forecasts that I'll have coming up that I plan on having soon. Chris saying, we so enjoy Weather NorCal and look forward to coffee with you in the morning as we feed the cattle and start our day at MacArthur Livestock. Great. Thank you. The sun is bring on the green grasses. All right. Oh, it's bringing on the green grasses. Yes. Which is good for your cattle, right? So awesome. Appreciate that. I appreciate all of you giving me these words of encouragement to keep me going. You know, this is a not easy, folks. And I took a big risk getting out of TV and doing what I'm doing for you right now. And I am not looking back with any regrets. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying having a say in what I do, and not having anyone dictate what I'm supposed to say or do on in getting you the information that you so deserve, and getting you the information that you deserve in the best possible way. I mean, what better way to watch the forecast whenever you want and get the latest forecast? I do 3 updates a day, and you can get that latest forecast. And then, Ann, you were saying that the coverage of my fires is very crucial on your fire page. Great. That's awesome. That is fantastic, Ann. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your support. I agree. Lynn, that would be kind of cool to do some kind of like, not just an ag report, but maybe like a gardening report. That would be fun. But, you know, again, time and resources. We got to grow. We got to get that going. But I think that would be really cool. And the positive focus, yes, absolutely. That's what I want to do. You can get the doom and gloom all you want from your local media, all you want. If that's what you want and that's what you strive for, then that's great. But if you're tired of that and have been tired of that for years, now you've got a source. Eventually, you'll have a better source for that. But of course, you got the weather, right? But we'll have more. I feel that this is something that'll expand and grow. So let's keep it going. All right, enough of that. Wow, that's great. Even this little bit of talking here, I've been able to get you all to stay. I've still got people watching. All right, good. That feels good. Should we take one last look at the forecast here before we head on out? Let's do that because I've been kind of rambling and some of you may be coming in for the first time. So let's start with looking at what we expect here for today. This is your neighborhood at a glance. And by the way, I want to show you this. Here are the 6 neighborhoods that I cover. One of the first things that I did when I started Weather NorCal is I wanted to give a lot of the outlying communities better focus on the weather. So you can see the valley. That's where the highest population is, right? Then, of course, you've got Trinity County, the North Coast, which includes the inland areas and the coast. Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and the Eastern Mountains. So there's your forecast for today. Now, the cool thing is I'm going to take you to a webpage. There it is. Here's weathernorcal.com. Now, at the very top, you can see, of course, the menu here, right? You'll see neighborhoods right below that. You can click on Trinity County, for example. You see what happens here? Now you have a planner for Weaverville. You've got the fly-through that I show on Coffee with Krueger, and of course my regular forecasts. And then of course you've got 7-day forecasts as well. So this you can check daily for your forecast for the day. And you can also access it from the app. Just go to the neighborhood. And in fact, you'll see on the app, as I kind of go back here, it'll look like this. You will see this map here. If you're more visual, you can go over than these. So on the app, you click that one, and then of course you can scroll down and find which neighborhood you're looking for. And all those maps I showed you for Trinity County, they're available from the app as well. So be sure to check that out. I highly encourage that. So there you have it. Well, tell you what, let's wrap things up and get you out the door. And of course, I'm so glad you could join us this morning. I appreciate all of you for kind of chiming in and interacting and being a part of Coffee with Krueger, because that is one of the things that makes Coffee with Krueger unique, is that you're not just sitting down watching the forecast, but you're watching the forecast and you can chime in. Now, keep in mind, if you're on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, you can't do that. But if you're on YouTube on your computer, if you're on YouTube on your phone, you can interact. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, same thing, you can interact. So that's one of the things that makes us unique, and I truly appreciate that and love that. So let's wrap things up. Let's get you out the door and take a look at some of the cameras around the area, and we will see you bright and early for our Friday. Yes, finally Friday edition tomorrow morning at 6:30 on Coffee with Krueger. We'll see you then and have a great day.